You know, it's entirely normal to be afraid in the beginning. You remember the first time you got behind the wheel of a car? You were probably afraid of bumping everything inside. Starting a business can be just like that. When I posted my first product online, I was incredibly nervous. It was the first time I put one of my creations out there for the world to see, and I felt incredibly vulnerable. But now, years later, launching new products and brands feels as natural for me as driving a car. Fear has this way of holding you back, and it's the primary hurdle that stops many people from taking the first step. When I listen to people, I often find that one of their biggest fears is the fear of losing money. When I first began, money was tight, and I had this notion that starting a new business required a huge amount of cash and time. In today's digital age, you can start earning money as long as you have an internet connection. For e-commerce, you would ideally need a computer and a few thousands of dollars to kick things off. But naturally, the more you can invest, the faster you can progress. It's also crucial to bear in mind that there's also a risk of losing this investment. That's why I strongly recommend of investing what you can lose and not growing too rapidly. When my first product was launched and started selling, my gaze was already fixed on the next product. This is where I made mistakes. I overestimated the selling price, which turned out to be too high, forcing me to sell all these products at break-even prices. These were all missteps born out of my eagerness of wanting to move too fast. Making mistakes can indeed come with a financial cost, but in the grand scheme of things, you can see the money lost as an investment in your education. It might prove to be a more cost-effective learning experience than attending a university for some. Which brings me to the next point. The intriguing paradox is that in school, we're often penalized for making mistakes. Making mistakes can be beneficial for you and your business. I too wanted to avoid failure. I hoped my first venture would be an instant hit, so I delved into books, believing I could get right for the first time I tried. But if you lack prior business experience, it's almost impossible to do. Even if your first business endeavor succeeds, you will eventually encounter significant challenges that demand creative solutions. And as an employee, you can easily turn to your boss for help with major issues. But as a business owner, the responsibility falls squarely on your shoulders. Ultimately, it comes down to comfort zones. Staying in a familiar role, it's often the easiest choice. But managing a business can feel like a roller coaster, and it's not for everyone. If you're very risk and stress averse, a job might be a better choice for you. Another concern could be the fear of failing in front of those around you. In my own experience, I had several public failures. And after that, I decided to keep my business ventures a secret until I achieved something substantial. In general, I would recommend this approach. Keep your business attempts confidential. If you fail, no one knows. If you succeed, on the other hand, people will naturally become curious and inquire about your endeavors. Then for people who already have a family and a full-time job, the no time to start a business can be a real issue. However, the beauty of e-commerce is that you can kickstart your business at your own pace on your own schedule. Unlike some businesses that require long hours to set up and maintain, e-commerce requires less time investment. In fact, even in the beginning, there could be a fair amount of waiting time involved, making it an ideal choice as a side business. If you want to know more about that, I also created a video that discusses how I managed my time while I was working a 9-to-5 job. All these fears share one common thread: the idea that to achieve something, like increasing your income or gaining more freedom, you often need to take risks. These risks might involve the possibility of losing money or investing some of your free time, or the fear of failing in front of your friends and family. Fear tends to exaggerate the worst case scenario in business, even though they often don't come true. Taking small and calculated steps and manageable financial risks allows for recovery in case of mistakes. E-commerce in particular makes for a perfect side hustle, enabling to keep your job while gradually growing your business. And it's all about finding that balance between risk and opportunity.